Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about some of the best penny stocks to buy for March 2021. Two of them actually. And I also want to give you updates on stocks that I've previously called and stocks that I'm currently in. Let's start by talking about my two stocks to buy in March. I think that both of these stocks have the potential to be massive gainers this month. Both of these stocks have experienced huge losses recently, but I think that these stocks have very solid fundamentals, and I think that they could quite easily double or even triple. So stay tuned and let's make some money. The first stock I want to tell you about today is EHang. So let's talk a bit about the recent price action of EHang, and then I'll tell you a little bit about the company and why I've bought a pretty heavy position in them. Through December, the price rose from around $10 to about $25. And then in January, we had this massive explosion up to around $125. One of the guys in the team on Patreon actually called this stock around the $30 mark, but I didn't want to chase it there. The stock then fell to around $46 and lost about 63% of its overall share price after a short report issued by Wolfpack Research. The stock then rebounded back up to about $80 before getting hammered down again this week after the market correction. So EHang are an autonomous drone vehicle production company based in China. Their drones can be used for aerial cinematography, rescue missions, survey missions, and I guess even parcel delivery. They have a number of drones currently in production: the Ghost, the Hexacopter, the EHang 184 and the EHang 216. These drones are passenger carrying and some are non-passenger carrying. They've completed thousands of flights, they have CAAC registration and a bunch of other temporary testing licenses around the world. In terms of the short report, Wolfpack Research suggested that all of the sales to its primary customer were faked and that actually its primary customer was a large shareholder. They also suggest that EHang has an unbuilt, unmanned factory and also offices that are basically empty. EHang then rebutted this shareholder report, suggesting that its primary customer isn't a shareholder and owns no shares whatsoever. They then also provided the serial number for every single sale that they've made to support about 25% of their annual revenue. They even released a video of the short-selling investigator sneaking into the office and waiting for people to walk out of the way or to go on lunch, and then taking photos to make it look like the offices were deserted. Also, in terms of Wolfpack's previous track record, it's not great. A lot of their previous targets have either doubled, tripled, or even 10x'd from their current position. So basically, this short sellers report is a load of crap, and EHang are suing them for it. EHang currently has a market cap of around $2.5 billion. A reverse merger has just been announced with Joby Aviation, putting their valuation at around $6.6 billion. Therefore, EHang should at least 2x from its current position when the short selling cools off. The next company I want to tell you about is Wkhs. Again, let's go over their recent price action. The stock price of Wkhs rose from around $16 to around $42 over the past 6 months, before then falling back down to around $16. Wkhs is a US-based company that manufactures electrically powered delivery vehicles, similar to Rivian in a way. They've helped build a few EVs and in 2019 signed a contract with UPS to deliver 950 delivery vehicles. They've also recently had a number of other orders, such as 6,000 vehicles ordered from Pride Group, another 500 ordered from Pritchard, and more just like those. They were also finalists to win a large contract from USPS, although this contract was then awarded to OSK, and that's what caused the Wkhs stock to fall around 62% from its current highs down to around $16. Although a House representative has vowed to block the current transaction because OSK has only promised around 10% of the contract in electrically powered vehicles. President Biden is very big on green energy, and I think that he's likely to intervene in some way. The previous stimulus package authorised around $6 billion of spending for USPS to replace their current fleet with a largely zero-emission or EV-powered vehicle fleet. To me, it doesn't seem like 10% qualifies as largely zero emission. President Biden has also recently appointed 3 board members to the USPS board. After the Wkhs stock fell, Cathie Wood at ARK Invest purchased another 660,000 shares. Now obviously it's not guaranteed that Biden's going to step in and overthrow the decision, but if that did happen, I'm sure the stock would likely rebound to $34 or even higher very, very quickly. I also think that in the long term, even if the USPS contract doesn't get assigned to them, I still think they've garnered a lot of media attention from this event, and therefore they could win a number of other contracts from grocery shopping companies, milk truck companies, removals companies, and more. If you're enjoying the video so far, then be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking that red button down below to benefit from in-depth analysis on new, up-and-coming stocks, regular news updates on fast-moving stocks, and expose-style videos to help save you time and grow your stock portfolio. Also, be sure to check out the Patreon down in the description below and become part of the team and discuss stocks before they start blowing up, like EHang, Cciv, Bngo, and many more. You also get access to my stock portfolio, which is updated daily, weekly live streams, one-to-one access, and more. But for now, let's get back to the video. Now let's talk about some of the other stocks that I've called, because I'm sure you're all probably worried about the recent market correction. I firstly want to talk about the S&P 500 and the Wkhs. If you don't already know, the Wkhs tracks market volatility or market sentiment. When there's a lot of panic, the Wkhs goes up. When everyone's calm, the Wkhs is low. We can see that in the last few days, the Wkhs has spiked pretty heavily. The previous spikes were around the GameStop short squeeze, the election, and obviously a giant spike as a result of COVID. This current spike is being caused by changing government bonds, and that's effectively what's caused this recent market correction. We can also see that the whole of the S&P 500 has been tanking as well, and therefore if any of my viewers have a question about one specific stock, it's likely not just that one specific stock that's falling, it's the entire market. If we look at NIO, nothing fundamentally has changed about the company. They're still delivering the most vehicles they've ever delivered, over 7,000 a month. There's no giant short report on them. And if anything, the company is doing even better. They've just completed verification works for their second generation of battery swapping stations. Each station can now swap batteries around 312 times every single day, which is around 3 times more swaps than their first generation of battery swapping stations could do. And therefore, I'm definitely still bullish on NIO. But what about Bngo? Well, firstly, I'm super happy that Bngo hit my price target of around $15, but it has fallen quite significantly since then. But again, nothing fundamental has changed about the company. If anything, it's even better. Their Cciv system can now be used to read the genes of fetuses in pregnant mums, and it can be used to tell whether the mum or the dad has anomalies in their genes which has affected the unborn child. However, I think it's important to remember that not long ago, Bngo had a share price of under $1 and was at risk of being delisted from the Nasdaq. Therefore, I think this correction is necessary and healthy, but could last quite some time. I think that Bngo would have to do something really significant to grow even faster. Maybe announcing a giant partnership with a large medtech company, or by making some acquisitions to really get their name out there and their Cciv system out there at a faster rate. I am still definitely bullish on Bngo, but I do think it will take quite some time for their stock price to rise above $15, $20. In terms of Cciv, I made a video on them the other day and I'm still as bullish as ever. It seems the price fell to around $25 and then has been increasing back again since that day. I do expect the price to continue increasing until the merger date and the ticker change, when I think the stock might drop a bit due to the confusion of the ticker change. Cciv have also just released a video and that they have a working version of their Project Gravity.
We have one last sneak peek for you. Introducing Project Gravity.
I think as a result of all the cash they've raised that they really could bring forward production of their Project Gravity and bring forward their expansion plans. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to check out some of my others. Alternatively, subscribe to the channel and ding the notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers!